Hey everyone, it's Bree, and I'm so super excited to share my first layout with the Hip Kit Club design team with y'all today. I am going to be working with the August main kit plus the cardstock kit. That was my challenge for today, just to use those two kits, and I absolutely love how this layout turned out, and I hope you do too. So what I'm doing here is I have the August main kit spread out on my desk. I'm just going through things and showing everything to y'all. You get this exclusive stamp set, the exclusive ephemera. This collection was designed by both Kim Watson and Kimberly Hutchison, and it is called Awesome Life. And we get this Nuvo crystal drops in midnight blue, as well as exclusive puffy alphas in this gorgeous like powder blue or cornflower blue. And then these are probably one of my favorites, the chipboard stickers. And there are a lot of different stickers on that sheet. So here are the exclusive papers that you get in the collection, the 12 by 12 pattern papers, and they are all so gorgeous. This kit this month has a lot of blues and greens and oranges, but it also does have a mix of some of the more feminine colors, I guess you could say. So this kit is so versatile, and I'm so excited to work with it this month. So I showed you both the A and B side. And I am going to be mainly working with this X Factor paper that you see right there with the diagonal stripes. So as soon as I saw this, I thought, okay, I'm going to cut this up and I want to add some stitching and I want to add some dimension to my layout. So that's what I'm going to do here. I am going to cut some of these triangles out, not some, all of them out. And I'm just going to trim the branding strip off, and then I'm going to go ahead and trim up the rest of the paper. So here I go doing that right now. I had a few ideas in mind. I did kind of toss around some layout ideas, but you'll see the layout progress here in a minute. I did pull out that navy piece of cardstock, but I don't end up using it. I was going to create some of my own alphas, but I didn't end up doing it, and I just used all of the exclusive alphas in the kit. So I will have everything linked in the description box below for the Hip Kit Club member forum, where you can pick up these kits. Everything, I'll have all of that info in the description box below, and you can pick up these kits if you'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and trim into these triangles here. Now, I did trim them up, like I cut them. I did think about using them as a whole. I used two as a whole, but then I cut into others, and you can see here in just a second. So this is me kind of playing out with the design, or playing around with the design of my layout. And then I'm going to go off camera to trim some up, and then to run a few through my sewing machine. So yeah, that's just me figuring out what I want to do. But yeah, so while I'm doing that, I am just so super excited to be a part of this team. That just shows you guys never give up on wanting to apply for teams, and this is an absolute dream come true. I absolutely love the Hip Kit Club. I've been a member for years, and I just love the mix of new product that's out, as well as exclusive products that you also get in this kit, or in the monthly kits. So this to me is, I cannot believe I'm here, and I'm so grateful and so happy. But yeah, back to my layout. So I'm scrapbooking a photo of my two boys that are Noah and Elijah. They went on a hike with their dad up to the pillbox in Lanikai out in Hawaii, where we used to live. And that picture matched this pattern paper so well that I thought it was perfect. So here are those pieces that I cut out of that pattern paper, and I ran them through my sewing machine to give it a little extra interest and a little something. And I'm going to also put the same triangle that I cut onto the white cardstock from the Cardstock Kit. Since I did plan on popping up all of those cut into pieces on some foam, I didn't necessarily want the white background back there. I wanted it to look like a whole entire piece. So I thought, including the other portion of that paper would help tie everything together. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. Of course, if you know me, or if you follow me on my social media, I love mixed media, and the main kit comes with the Nuvo crystal drops. So I thought, okay, why not use that as paint, to paint on your layout, as well as to make the, drops at the end of my page, or, at the end of my process. So you'll see me here just taking a dry paintbrush and squeezing some of that color down on my glass media mat. And I'm just going to paint on the colors. I wanted the texture. I wanted the dry brush stroke, so I didn't wet my brush. I didn't prep my page with gesso. I wanted the texture from the textured cardstock to show, as well as the texture from the brush strokes as well. I wanted that rough look. So I wanted to also add in some paint splatter. So I took some shimmers in Night Moves from my stash. It's a dark black, but it ends up drawing kind of like a dark gray. And I just simply splatter all over the page. I just wanted something subtle. I didn't want anything too heavy, because I did have those harsh lines, from the X Factor pattern paper from the kit. So this it didn't even take very long to dry at all. I did kind of take my paper towel and pick up some of the rest of the color, because I was impatient and I wanted to keep creating. But yeah, so honestly, you could have I could have let it sit for a few minutes and it would have been dry. So here is where I talked about this previously. I'm just taking that other piece of the pattern paper that I didn't cut into. This didn't get ran through my sewing machine, and I'm just going to apply or adhere it down to my page. And then I'm going to go ahead and layer up the other pieces that match this, that has the stitching, as well as I am going to add some foam adhesive to it as well. So I'm just going to make sure this is straight and it's centered where I want it to be. And I did use my ATG gun to make sure that it stays, because my ATG gun is super, super sticky. And I just want to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. All right, so here is where I pick up some of that color, because I didn't want to make a mess, and I was completely impatient, and I wanted to keep going. So here is the other smaller triangle that I'm going to use on the other side of my layout. I did think about using, the same size that I did on the left side of the page, but I wanted a little interest. I wanted it to be a little different, so I chose a smaller section of that paper. So here are those little pieces that I have cut out, and I'm going to back each piece using some foam adhesive. Now this is by Scotch. I picked this up at Home Depot. We go to Home Depot, well, we used to go probably every week, but now with everything with the COVID going on, or with COVID going on, we don't go quite as much. But every time I do go, I always pick a piece, or not a piece, a package up. That's probably the only reason why I go to Home Depot, is to get more tape. So anyways, I have applied all the foam tape to the backs of all of those pieces, and then I'm going to carefully adhere it down, making sure to leave some of the color exposed. I don't completely cover that bottom piece. I just kind of bring everything down just a little bit, so you know that there's something underneath it, and it just gives it some more interest. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did on that other side, down on this smaller triangle here. Just going to bring it down a little bit and make sure that you can still see that other piece, and then I'm going to stick everything down. Now I do love that Scotch adhesive. I do get the thicker kind, because I like to cut into it and I can make as skinny or thicker strips that I need, and it's super handy and I absolutely love it. A trick with sticky tape, or sticky foam adhesive tape, that didn't make sense. Foam tape, there you go. This voiceover is a mess, probably because I'm super nervous, but that's okay. I'm just going to keep it in, and because that's just me. A quick tip, or use non-stick scissors when you're working with sticky tape. It totally helps and is a lifesaver. So I've adhered my photo down. I popped it up on some extra foam just to make sure that it sits on top of my little triangles there. And then I'm going to pull out some of the ephemera pieces. Now look at how cute these exclusive ephemera pieces are. They are absolutely amazing, and I don't know, I just love them, and I had to be a little bit picky so that I could have other things for my future layouts. But I did choose things that kind of went with my photo. They were on a hike, they were exercising, they did bring a backpack, and I know they didn't bike up there, but to me it was still in the form of exercise, basically. So I am working on my title here, and I pulled out the exclusive alphas, and I am just going to put where they were. So it's just going to be a simple title. It's just going to say Lonnie Kai Pillbox, because I love putting the location in big alphas, I guess you could say, just so when, my kids are flipping through the scrapbooks, in the future, they know that's where it was. And, it was just a special day. And they were so proud of themselves because it was a pretty, long hike. I, unfortunately, did not do it. They just went on their own. It was a little guy trip. And they had so much fun and they were so proud of themselves. Of course, it was hot, but they did an awesome job and we're very proud. All right, so I'm just going to finish off my title here. And I do go back off camera to kind of adjust these letters to make sure they are straight. And then I did apply extra adhesive just to make sure that they stick and they don't fall off and when I put it in a page protector. So I'm going to tuck in these few embellishments here and embellish around my photo, excuse me. And then I'm going through these chipboard stickers trying to figure out what I would like to add. And of course, I had to go with a rainbow because, hello, it's Hawaii. And every time I document a Hawaii photo, I always feel like I have to have a rainbow. And I thought it was very fitting and, looked kind of nice up there on top of my title. I did add this sticker down at the bottom that says, yes, you can, because, it was a tough, they did tougher hikes than this one, but I think this was one of the first ones that they did. And yeah, so it was a good moment for them. So I did end up moving that little luggage or backpack to the left and tucked it behind that rad piece. And then I added a camera and this cool hat because they were both wearing hats. And then I added that little piece that says YOLO and added a few of these stars from the chipboard sticker sheet. And then I'm going to pull out the exclusive stamp and stamp in gray with some gray ink from my stash. And I did choose the word epic because once you get up there, that view is absolutely amazing. And it's just a very cool place to be. And yeah, so I love it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp that down. And I don't think I added too much more other than I do add some tangled thread in Missy wooden form here. I just love the texture that it gives your page, and it's just a little something. I do like to add them underneath embellishment clusters, and I love how it looks. So I'm so glad that she shared that technique because I absolutely love to add tangled thread onto my layouts. So I'm going to add some practice crystal drops at the top, and I'm going to add a few drops here and there in a few different areas. And just a tip, make sure you lay your layout flat and allow those Nuvo drops to dry maybe overnight so you don't get smudged, they don't get smudged and mess up your layout. But that is it. I hope you'll check out the Hip Kit Club kits and stay tuned for some final photos and some up-close shots. I had so much fun creating this layout, and I look forward to creating for this next term. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for watching, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.